So you just watched Mulholland Drive and have some questions. Like, why is Diane screaming at these size-shifting old people? How did Scary Trash Man end up with the uh-oh box? And did Rita really drink all the Coke?
Don't drink all the Coke.
I don't blame you. Most mysteries hide some facts from the audience, but this one takes it one step further, placing the bulk of the narrative inside the dream of our unreliable protagonist Diane. The film's true meaning has been scrutinized and debated by fans for years, with entire websites devoted to unscrambling all the clues. But today we're going to try something a bit different. While we can't be expected to fully understand all of the inexplicable moments at first glance, we can pull a lot of meaning from them, not by analyzing them as clues, but by using story structure to contextualize them, because the places where story beats land greatly affect the course of the character arcs and the film's meaning. But now you're asking, well, with Mulholland Drive shifting protagonist, whose character arc will we actually be following? Well, sort of all of them. The bulk of Mulholland Drive takes place in Diane's mind and has three main characters. The perpetually joyful Betty, who looks just like Diane and shares a lot of the same backstory with her. The ever-frightened Rita, who is the first and last character to exist in the dream world and makes the definitive choice that actually causes Act 3 to happen. And just about everything that happens to the always angry Adam echoes Diane's current situation in her real life. Through this lens, it seems each lead represents a facet of Diane's personality traversing an adventure inside her troubled brain, which ultimately influences her emotional state in the real world. It's a concept I feel like I've seen in another film.
Inside Out.
That'd be it, yeah. Now, along with that fun little idea, let's harness the raw power of story structure to finally solve the mystery behind Mulholland Drive and reveal its true meaning once and for all. So let's get this ball rolling and jump real quick to the end of the movie where all the exposition and spoilers are. So now we have a little foundation to build off of. After getting a taste of fame at a jitterbug contest, our gal Diane decides to go into acting and be part of the Hollywood system like her late Aunt Ruth. But after auditioning for the lead in the Sylvia North story, Diane loses her prized role to an actress named Camilla Rhodes. Diane and Camilla get together, Diane develops intense feelings for Camilla, and Camilla then dumps Diane for director Adam Kesher. After some time, Diane gets invited to Camilla's party,
We don't stop here.
where she's subsequently humiliated when she finds out that not only is Camilla marrying Adam, but she's also got a younger, blonder side girl that she's been hooking up with too. Devastated, Diane orders a hit on Camilla at a Winkies with this guy.
This is the girl.
And soon after, Diane is given a blue key as proof that the deed was done. So now that she's not a movie star, she got super dumped and is a murderer once removed, it turns out Diane might not be feeling so great about any of this. So she gets ready to take a nap and the movie can finally start. Okay, let's roll it back to the beginning. First, we hear a band. In a flashback, Diane recalls the glorious night she won her jitterbug contest, the moment she decided to take up acting. This is the high Diane has been chasing since she moved to Los Angeles. We're in Diane's happy place where she's smiling proudly between two old people. We never explicitly learned who these old folks are, but the literary purpose they serve is that they're proud of Diane and make her feel good about herself. They represent a source of comfort for our protagonist. With this in her mind, Diane falls into her pillow and enters the dream world. Like most mysteries, this story begins with a crime. A dark-haired woman is about to be bumped off by her limo driver on Mulholland Drive. That is, if not for being saved by a serendipitous car crash. Disoriented, the woman stumbles out of the car into the streets of LA. Here we don't have much of a traditional whodunit, because as far as we can tell, the it wasn't actually done. We might have ourselves a whydunit, or at least maybe a who is this? Who is this? Who is this? While two detectives at the accident surmise that someone must have fled the scene, that someone finds refuge in a random apartment after the resident leaves for a trip. This whole sequence represents the jumble of troubles swirling in sleeping Diane's subconscious. Her unexpected detour on Mulholland Drive on the night of the party.
We don't stop here.
The hit she made on her ex. The police that just might be looking for Diane in real life. The constant hiding in fear of getting caught. A set of keys, and the likeness of Camilla resting in peace in the abode of Diane's dead aunt's house. As you can already see, this movie is front-loaded with a whole bunch of cryptic metaphors to unpack, so we're gonna have to zoom in and enhance on Act 1 for a bit. Things will go a lot faster once we hit that second act, but for now, we still need some time to understand all the themes, concepts, and emotions that will develop both our protagonist and her world. Not least of which is the thematic cherry on top of Diane's somber, somnolent Sunday, the Man Behind the Winkies. What at first seems like a meaningless side story might actually establish the stakes of the film. In a diner, a man with funny-looking eyebrows talks to a man with significantly less funny-looking eyebrows about a dream he had about a third scary-looking man with no eyebrows who turns out is real and pops out from behind a wall scaring the piss out of the audience. The bum, as he's referred to in the credits, may very well be a manifestation of all of Diane's negative thoughts at once. The concept of a bum stereotypically represents someone who is a non-person, who contributes nothing to society and has no future. This may reflect Diane's feelings about herself. Her dreams wings of stardom have fallen apart, and now she's likely living as a fugitive. The bum living among the trash might also be a metaphor for Diane's feelings toward being dumped. She's been thrown away like she was nothing. The bum's corpse-like appearance could represent Diane's suicidal thoughts or the murder she committed. And considering the bum lives right outside where she ordered the hit, I'd say it's pretty likely it has something to do with this. Dan, the eyebrows man, has said he's had terrifying dreams about this bum and hopes to never see his face outside of a dream. Yet he came to this Winkies to check on the bum, to
get rid of this god-awful feeling.
If we accept Dan as a Diane surrogate, we can assume that she too is haunted by a god-awful feeling, but hasn't exactly seen the face of her despair while awake. When Dan finds the little so-and-so smiling back at him, we know that this god-awful feeling is still very real in Diane's mind, and confronting her reality feels kind of like dying. Seeing the face outside of a dream has killed Dan, and it might just kill Diane too. After our world status quo has been established, naturally the chance for new opportunities gets introduced with the inciting incident. No more is Diane's dream centered around the doom and gloom of her fears and failures. With the arrival of Betty, Diane's perfect version of herself, the movie's pessimistic tone gets a hard reboot. Diane's even placed Betty in the care of those happy old people from the intro, swapping out the dread of the bum with the comfort of Irene and her unnamed companion. However, the superficiality of Betty's perfection becomes easy to spot right away. Look how stilted and unrealistic her dialogue is.
Okay, Irene. Won't that be the day?
And we'll see throughout this film that she's just a bit too innocent to fully feel real.
My audition is in 1 hour.
Betty is so too good to be true that her first words are literally,
I can't believe it.
is it that Diane can't believe that her life has gotten so bad? Or can Diane not even believe her own overly optimistic scenario that she's made for Betty? Soon, bright and sunny Betty is shown her perfect apartment via her perfect landlady, Coco,
It's unbelievable.
where she finally meets up with the gloomy corner of Diane's brain, Rita, who casually tells Betty that she was just in a car accident. Mistaking her for her aunt's friend, Betty thinks nothing of the naked stranger in her house and goes right back to unpacking. In this sterilized fantasy, Diane has even erased Camilla's name, leaving behind all the bad memories associated with it. Next, we learn Betty moved to LA to become a movie star, and her aunt is letting her stay at her place while she's away.
I just came here from Deep River, Ontario, and now I'm in this dream place. Well, you can imagine how I feel.
Hearing this, a headache suddenly sends Rita back to sleep.
It'll be okay if I sleep.
A hypothesis, no doubt, that Diane is testing at this very moment. Diane's dread now coexists in the same world as her fantasy, her hope being that in this controlled dream environment, she can try to enjoy herself. Finally, we get our third Diane, Adam, who is in the process of recasting his lead actress, a phrase that may refer to Diane feeling lost at this point in her life. Bouncing between despair and denial, Diane doesn't even know who she is anymore. Adam gets pitched a woman named Camilla Rhodes to be the star of his upcoming movie, and despite Adam's objection,
There's no way! There's no way!
these guys, the Castigliani brothers, are rather insistent that she's cast in the role.
This is the girl.
This scene is all a reshuffling of that fateful party Diane went to on Mulholland Drive. We've got the blonde girl, we've got our cup of coffee, we got someone yelling, "Help me," we've got Luigi,
Let's go.
and of course we've got Adam. In the dream, Adam seems to represent all the anger and helplessness stewing inside Diane that night. Look how he reacts to the picture of the blonde girl. Look how he smashes the car for no constructive reason other than petty revenge. We've already seen that Diane can't deal with the terrors of self-actualization, but now with Adam's rage, we're seeing Diane outright refuse to accept any trace of her reality. The phrase, "this is the girl," is repeated over and over, a reminder of what Diane said when she ordered the hit on Camilla. Even the name who must not be named, Camilla Rhodes, has already infiltrated her fantasy. Diane is no longer in control, not of her dream and not of her life.
How long will your film?
At this point, it's not yet clear how any of these dudes fit into the greater mystery with Betty and Rita, but due to Adam's outburst, an ominous man named Mr. Roque orders everything to be shut down.
Then we'll shut everything down.
And although we don't know to what exactly everything refers, what follows is the start of a long story arc that ultimately ends with the shattering of all Diane's delusions. From this moment on, Diane's dream will conjure up new warnings and threats that will force her to accept the reality of her situation. Adam will continue to lose everything until he sees that his anger serves no purpose. Rita will be pushed further into increasingly frightening scenarios until she just gives up on running. Betty's optimism will begin to erode until she's left hopeless and in tears. And Diane will deny the truth until reality finally breaks her. Next, like a ceremonial torch being lit, Diane's hitman botches his cover-up of Rita's hit, tripping the alarm bells. Diane can't sweep this murder under the proverbial rug. The consequences of her actions will now invade her fantasy. Okay, now in order to dodge those fair use hating copyright robots, we're going to have to move this party to another video before they catch up with us. So I hope you'll all join me there for part 2, where I'll actually get to explain the plot of the movie now that all the background has been established. We'll learn what the deal is with that wacky cowboy, what specific band the illusionist is referring to, and why Adam just disappears halfway through the film. So go ahead and click here for part 2.